It was a cold and somber fall evening in the backwoods, somewhere in a remote corner of northern Canada. The main character in this story, named Jake, was an experienced hunter who had decided to spend a week away from the hustle and bustle of the city, immersed in the wilderness. Jake came to this forest with his friends, but as it usually happens, each of them chose a different section of the forest for hunting. He decided to go deep into the woods, away from the main camp, and hunt elk. His tent was small and modest, and he took only the essentials with him: a rifle, a knife, loads, and a few cans. The first few days of the hunt went well. Jake even survived a brutal encounter with a bear, which turned out to be not as dangerous as it seemed at first glance. But on the third day, his luck ran out. He had waded across a bubbling creek, was left without supplies, and seemed to have lost his way. But the real nightmare began in the evening, when Jake heard something strange deep in the woods. It was eerie screams mixed with a muffled roar. Jake decided to check out what the noise was, and realized he was walking toward danger. As he got closer, he saw a huge wolf, almost twice the size of normal wolves. The wolf looked aggressive and ready to attack. Jake took aim and fired, but the bullet only grazed the beast, and it disappeared into the depths of the forest. Now Jake realized that he was not alone in this forest, and he walked forward more cautiously. With every step he felt that he was being pursued. At night, he couldn't sleep, listening to the ominous sounds around him. Days and nights merged into one agonizing moment. Jake tried to survive, but nature seemed to conspire against him. He saw wolf tracks everywhere, and he knew his stalker was not slumbering. One morning, when Jake decided to go looking for a way out, he came upon a pile of bones and skins. They were the remains of his friends whom he had lost sight of on the first day of the hunt. All of their supplies had been destroyed, and their tents had been torn apart. Jake realized that his pursuer was not a wolf, but something much more terrifying. Jake realized that he needed to get out of this forest as soon as possible. He moved day and night, never stopping. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something was following him. After a few days of wandering, he came upon an old, abandoned cabin. Hiding inside, he decided to wait for his pursuer to leave. But the hours turned to days, and he still saw no sign of danger. With each passing day, Jake lost hope of rescue and began to doubt his sanity. It seemed to him that he was just a toy in the hands of an invisible force that was slowly but surely bringing him closer to death. But one day, when he was on the verge of despair, he heard a whisper. It was the words of his friends, urging him to leave the hut and walk towards the light. Without thinking, he ran out of the hut and saw the ghosts of his friends showing him the way to salvation. Jake followed them out of the cursed forest, and as soon as he crossed its boundary, he fell to the ground and fell into a deep sleep. His friends had rescued him from the unknown danger,